Welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast, your go-to source for everything on the Las Vegas Raiders. Whether you're a diehard motherfucker like me, or just getting to know Raider Nation, our passionate hosts are here to bring you all the excitement on Raiders football. I'm Shit Show Joe, and welcome to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. Let's go, Raiders! If not, fuck your team.
And welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Raider Will, and I am here with the Cisco Kid from TBH. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, my man. Always happy to see you guys. So long season. Season's over now, and good to see you guys. And yeah, let's get this thing kicked off, baby.
Yes, sir. And now we got our boy representing TBH Spokane, Tony Bova.
What's
up, my brother?
Y'all? Just chilling. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Hey, guys, lots of things happening in Raider Nation right now. We just got rid of AP and Tom Tolesco.
I like the way you worded that. We got rid of, not fired or let go, but we got rid of. Like, damn, man.
Well, I mean, like, if you think about it, man, it was a shocker to me when Tom Tolesco got let go. I'm going to be honest. That one was kind of a shocker for me. And for me, this is the new coming of the Tom Brady era. I mean, like, this has Tom Brady written all over it for me. I mean, like, when you come in and you just say, hey, man, this happened, this guy's good. And I mean, like, Tom Tolesco had a good draft. Let's be real. He had a really good draft. He didn't sign key players. Yes, I do understand that cap and everything like that, and him not bringing some key players and re-signing players was an issue. But to say that he had a bad draft, I don't think so. Now, that was, kind of the shocker.
100%.
So, guys, I'm going to start with you, Tony B. Give me your thoughts on AP.
Well, just the start of the year, everybody was like, we got to bring him back. He's going to be the change. He's got the passion. He's got the locker room. I was real hopeful that his lack of knowledge in the coaching would be covered by the passion. But my thing is consistency. We've had no consistency. So, like, I know it's a win now, but you got to get a system in and let him run it for a little bit. He had a year and a half. Half of the year it was faulty anyways. He came in a bad situation. This year, with injuries and everything, I was kind of shocked that he was gone. But I mean, just for the simple fact that you got to get a system in place and execute it, and sometimes it takes longer than a year. Was I okay with the firing? Yeah, just not surprised. I mean, I don't know. It's just I was really shocked that people just turned off on him so quick. But
absolutely, I get what you're saying. All right, Cisco. So, hey, brother, you are a frontline guy. I'll be like, you're almost at every home game. I think, you are at every home game. What am I saying? I think you are at every home game. You hear it all. You see it all. Yo, what's your thoughts on AP, my brother?
Like I've said before, any other division, I think he should have gotten another year to really settle in, get his coaches, get his players. Obviously, they were playing for him. They never gave up. That was basically, you could see that from the locker room videos to the playing field. Those guys never gave up despite what our record was. I believe he should have gotten another year. However, on the other side, look at the coaches in our division. I don't think his resume matches his competition. You know, you're in a league, you're in a division with Super Bowl coaches, coaches that won and lost, and some that haven't won. But you know, Harbaugh with on a college level for my Michigan Wolverines, you know, he won, so I'm happy. But I wish he would have stayed at Michigan. But you know, hey, they still did well. Morris is doing his thing out there. But again, to get back on track with the Raiders, I, I don't think he was ready unless he had a all-star team of assistant coaches. You know, the thing that and really kind of, I was talking to JT the Brick about this. The thing I don't get is, I believe we had like 29 coaches on our coaching staff, and we had some heavy hitters. You know, Ryan, um, Lewis, you know, Coughlin, like North Turner at the end. You know, well, at the end we were doing very well, so I'll take Norv out of that equation. But like, man, I mean, you got Super Bowl winning coaches, you got playoff caliber coaches on your coaching staff, and we couldn't get it right. Like, no other team has that, and if they did, where the hell would they be right now? You know, 2 losses, 1 loss, undefeated. Who knows? So that puzzled me a bit. Like, we had probably the more coaches on this team than any other team probably has, and the caliber of coaches. You know, I couldn't get it. I couldn't piece it together. Like, what is going wrong? Is it the locker room chemistry? Is it, what is it? And the only thing I could pinpoint it on is play calling, and Getsy. You know, he was a terrible fit, terrible, terrible fit. I mean, if you can't see that, I mean, you weren't watching Raider football, because he made no adjustments to injuries. I mean, I've seen better plays on Madden than what he was drawing up, you know, and that's
Man,
no joke. You know what I mean? So it was just bad, because the players that we have on that team, we have playmakers, you know, and despite the mediocre play calling, we still had people like Bowers and Jacoby balling out, you know. So to say, you know, to give again, to get back on AP and having another try, I just not in this division. This division's too tough. It's too tough, and I don't think he was quite ready for it. But obviously, and the players play for him. They've played for him. We saw that. So I feel bad. You know, I wish he would have gotten another chance. I wish they would have built around him. Again, going back to what I said, then get him the outstanding offensive coordinator, pay him double what he's getting paid to bring him into the building. Same with the defensive coordinator. You know, obviously the signs are showing that Patrick Graham's not going to come back. So, you know, let's throw that money that we have, throw that at these assistant coaches. You know, get the Jets' old coach, who was the, you know, I hate to say it, Niners' old defensive coordinator. That dude was a beast. You know, go out there and get a Eric Bieniemy. You know, Chip Kelly. You know, somebody. You know, somebody that we can compete in our division, because we're not competing right now.
I can absolutely agree with you that a lot of the stuff that when you talk about play calling and execution and all that stuff was primarily on the offensive side of the ball. When you look at that, we had Kingsbury that, you know, is
Yeah.
obviously doing a great job in Washington. And it looks like the reason that he wasn't a Raiders coach is for one more year. You know, Tom Telesco didn't want to give him the money, didn't want to sign him for that one more year. Just kind of the same thing with Josh Jacobs. Now, you know, we talk about AP, and it's just like you said, it's just odd that you have 29 coaches on that staff. I don't know how many years experience. I mean, like you have,
Mhm.
or you have the Ryan brother, you have, you know, Lewis, you have Tom Coughlin, you have everybody and their mother, 29 coaches. Yet we were still dysfunctional. We still couldn't operate at a high level offensively. We couldn't execute. And it was like we were trying to, or as they say, square, or what is it, a square peg into a round circle into a hole or something like that.
Yeah.
We just weren't fitting it in. And
Hmm.
Luke Getzey, I believe, again, was part of the issue. But again, when we look at that, coaches hire their staff. And you're absolutely right. His inexperience at this level. You need experience as a coordinator. You need experience to get into those positions so you know how to handle play calls, so you know how to handle situations. And unfortunately, AP was a victim of his own success. He had a lot of success last year, and Raider Nation is a double bladed sword. When they love you, they love you.
Yeah.
But man, when you're on the opposite side,
Yeah.
ooh, baby, it ain't pretty.
You gotta win.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So now let's talk. Let's talk Tom Tolesco. So
Yeah.
Cisco, let's start with you with Tom. What were your thoughts?
That one I was shocked. I was shocked. Not despite, seeing things come out. Oh, Tom Telesco's job is safe. He'll be back returning with the Raiders. But still, it was a shock to me. I thought they would at least be consistent and show that consistency in that part of our team. Again, like I've said it before, I think he did a hell of a job. I think we all can see that he did a hell of a job in the draft. Um, if he was a part of the coaching um, decisions, back to the Luke Getzey thing, then yeah, then leave him in charge of picking players, not coaches. Um, but it was a shock. It was a shock to me that they did let him go. But again, when you get a new coach, especially nowadays, I'm not saying they're prima donnas like players, but they want their guys. They want people they know, people that or people they know of that you know uh, bring that to the team, have that pedigree, they have that reputation of being a great GM, where you'll want a coach to say, man, I want a coach under that GM. That dude's the shit. But I don't think Telesco had that. um so yeah, I mean, again, that's way above all our pay grades put together. Whoever, Mark Davis made that decision to make that decision. I just, like I said, and I've been saying it for years, I just hope they finally get it right.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Jody, what's your thoughts on Tom Telesco?
Man, I was shocked. I was kind of like, I was thinking he, like, with the draft and everything and the direction was going well. Um,
Go.
but someone said something that made me go, well, okay,
You're
that kind of
breaking
makes
up, T.
sense. He said, we let Jacobs go and pick Gardner Minshew
Oh,
as
he's
our
breaking up.
quarterback savior.
Yeah.
I went, oh, okay, maybe
All
his
right.
direction isn't the way we need to go.
Yep.
But so it's not totally shocking now that I sit back and look at it. Like, if you're gonna clean house, and I think they is sweeping and mopping the floors, and you better take your shoes off before you come in the building, because here we go. Let's go. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But it was shocking at first, but the way I look at it now, I'm like, I'm okay with them bringing in a fit for the coach that they picked. So
And you know what? I can see what you're saying, where you're like, hey, the move that they made was in order to clean house so that everybody's on the same page, everybody's together, everybody has Tom Brady's vision. which, whatever it is, I don't know. I can't tell anybody else because I don't know what it is, but Tom Brady has a vision, and obviously Tom Telesco didn't fit it. Now, guys, let's get on to the next part of the show where we're going to talk about you guys coming in. Guys, we have a revolving door of coaches coming in, a revolving door of GMs. We are turning every stone this offseason. Last offseason, I really felt we were focused in on one coach, and that's all we were focused in on. Now, we have turned every stone probably imaginable, and we got still guys coming in. Who's your top 2 guys that you guys want to see? I want to know who's your top GM, and I want to know who's your top coach that you guys want to see in silver and black leading us in the 2025 season. I'm going to start with the Cisco Kid.
I'm kind of 50-50.
Okay.
What I just said about our division and the coaches that are in our division, I gotta put my all in on Pete Carroll, proven winner. He wore the hat of like a GM or assistant GM and head coach.
Yep.
So he definitely has a knack for that. He's a proven winner. And again, with the coaches in our division, I think he would be a perfect fit to be able to compete with those guys. I think other assistant coaches will want to come and coach with him. I think depending again on what GM direction they go with a young cat or an established GM already, I think that will help. Having a Pete Carroll as your head coach. The only thing that is a negative in that is he's 73 years old, even though he doesn't look 73. I think he's still got a lot of that energy, that young buck in him, that I think we may be good for 3 years. And hopefully within that 3 years, if that's the direction we go, that he'll put those pieces in place to eventually hand the baton over and build us a football team again, a competitive football team again. And then on the other side, the young wolf waiting to be unleashed as a head coach is Mr. Johnson, Ben Johnson. Listening to that guy's press conferences, he's definitely an X's and O's guy. It's proven. Look at what they've done in Detroit. In that short period of time, they've really turned that organization around from the GM. Too. I mean, if you guys don't know his story, that guy. I mean, he was. His father was a football player. He was a football player. Got in a car accident. Was in a coma. Worked his ass off. I believe he worked at a rental car company and was sending his resume out to every sports team he could possibly. He finally got in, I think, with a basketball team, Atlanta, I believe, Hawks, and somebody he met, and then he got a job, I believe, with the Rams, was a scout and worked his way up. Now look at him. He's turned that, Detroit Lions team into a winner, So, we need to find that diamond in the rough, that dog out there, because he's a dog. He went out there and was doing his thing to build his resume and prove to the world that he knows what he's talking about. And he definitely has proven that, turning that organization around. So, I'd love to get a guy like that.
Absolutely. I mean, like when you see a guy that's a dog, a guy that's a winner, a guy that goes out there and makes every single right move, I mean, like it's kind of incredible what the Lions have done, the way that they have built that organization and all the moves that have happened in order for them to become successful. But
Yep.
Bova, let me get your top 2 coaches, man. Let me know who's your 1A and your 1B.
Gotta go with Ben as my number one. Fresh blood, passionate. He's gonna be a good one. He's gonna be a good one. I really don't have too much of a second one, but the one I don't definitely want is Deion Sanders, and this is why.
All right, hit us with it.
Because his coaching style is successful with impressionable youth. I don't think his coaching style will fit with grown men that ain't gonna put up with that mess. He's successful with setting structure and getting it implemented, but with adults like that, I don't know it's gonna be. Plus, he doesn't want to coach. He's got to have both his kids. He's got to be, I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff with him. So I would say Ben as my number one, and I'd stay away from Deion. Stay in Colorado, my dude.
Yeah. I'm backing Tony 100%. I know there's a lot of Raider fans out there that want prime time, and Vegas is a tourist attraction already. We don't need all that extra movie stars on the sidelines and all that stuff that he's got in Colorado. I mean, he's
The
done a
circus
great
is too
job up
much.
there. I'm not going to knock him. He's turned that organization around in Colorado. But yeah, I don't think, honestly, I don't think he's ready to compete in our division.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I think he's a good coach, but I don't think he's a great coach. And our team, we need a great coach because we're in a tough division.
I can absolutely agree with everything that you guys just said. First of all, I believe that my 1A and my 1B is definitely going to be Ben Johnson out of the Lions and Pete Carroll coming out of Seattle at the moment. Looking at it, it's just like Cisco said. When you look at Pete Carroll, his record speaks for itself. He built a championship team at the collegiate level. He has a Super Bowl championship at the pro level. He is able to develop players at a high level in his system in order for them to be successful. And he has done it at every single stop that he's been in this recent past, which is all the way from SC to Seattle. He held all different positions and he made GM decisions. Now, with a guy like that, you are going to have a Rolodex full of guys that he can call to bring in to fill certain spots. And that's what I like about it. Now, Ben Johnson, offensive creativity off the charts, baby. When you're giving the right tackle and left tackle a reverse, and you're saying, hey, man, big fella, go in and get you a touchdown like the refrigerator Perry back in the day. Yo, offensive creativity off the charts. Problem. You need a strong GM that's able to draft players that fit his system, that fit his vision, and then are able to excel at a high level. That's the issue with him. I feel like, hey, you got strengths and weaknesses. I love what Cisco said. If you bring in Pete Carroll with a guy that says, hey, this is my predecessor, I'm grooming him, it's this guy, and you say, hey, man, this guy is an offensive stud or a really, really good coach, you really have to measure that. You have to look that up. And I get everybody's enamored right now with the nice, shiny thing. Ben Johnson is nice and shiny. But, guys, is Raider Nation really going to be able to deal with his ups and downs? With him making mistakes as a rookie head coach and then not getting wins? Let me ask you that. Is Raider Nation going to be sitting there saying, hey, Ben Johnson, we're going to give you 3 years? Guys, it takes about 3 years to turn around the program, to put your stamp on it. You got to draft your players. You got to get your dudes.
They're
Are
not going to
Raider
draft
Nation
with
going
none
to
of
wait?
that. It don't matter who we put in that position. If they're not winning now, they got to go. And that's how they're going to look at it. They're not looking at it as we're okay with giving them 3 years. worst 3 years got AP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if
But
you're trying to say
the
consistency and
difference
get
with
3
that,
years, Raider Nation, they want to win now, and they're not going to be okay with Ben Johnson losing some, Pete Carroll losing some. Dude, think about it. We bring in Pete Carroll, watch Marshawn Lynch go nuts with that call, talking about, hey, he should have gave me the rock. Like, whoever we get, if they're not winning titles, they're not going to be happy. It don't matter who it is.
we're showing improvement, one of the two. But you know, we can go back and turn back the clock, and there's been some dumb decisions made. I mean, I don't think we needed to get rid of Jack Del Rio, but we did.
Yeah.
I think we should have gave Hugh Jackson another year. He turned us around, got us to at least 8-8, and then he was let go. But I think that was definitely a Mark Davis move, I believe. I don't think it was more or less our GM at the time. I think he wanted to start because that was his dad's hire, Mr. Davis's hire. And Hugh did a lot. He needed to turn that culture around, which he did. The way the last our headquarters in Alameda, he was the one that put these. As you go through the hallways, he put these wraps on the walls of all our history, all our from Villapiano to all the greats, Mike Davis. I mean, you name them. Tom Flores, all La Monica, all the greats. The walls were wrapped. So as you're walking down from coach room to coach room, you see these wall of great players in the organization that would just pump you up as you're walking through the hallways. Al Davis, we all know, was a penny pincher. We'll just call him that. Where the players would go into the back and park into the parking lot. There was no markers like when you pull into a shopping center, and they got the lines there, the chalk line or the painted lines, and you park in between the lines. There was none. It was just park how you park. Because he was like, why am I going to go spend the money to go paint the parking lot when I could spend that money on some new weight sets for my football players to work out with? That was Mr. Davis's mindset. But Hugh was like, no, we need to paint those parking lots. If you're going to bring marquee players in here, we got to look like a marquee establishment, And so a lot of things he did started to change the culture. And, that a lot of people don't know that he did there. So yeah, we pulled the trigger a little too soon on a lot of coaches. So people are going to say, well, hey, Anderson, Detroit turned around. I mean, his first season was 3 and whatever. Okay, that's true. AP was 4 and whatever, but you got to look at it too, though. They're two different growths in football. AP was a linebacker coach. He wasn't a defensive coordinator before getting the head coaching position. So you got to look at that too. That's not a fair evaluation of either men.
And I agree with you. I think it's not an evaluation of them as a man. I think it's just one, we're very impatient as Raider Nation, and two, it's, hey man, it's just like we said, our impatience has definitely shot us in the foot several times. And it's, hey, one thing or another, right? It's either we're saying, hey, ownership or the people in charge are making irrational decisions at a high rate, and we all suffer for it. Now, guys, we talked about the coaches. We talked about, hey, Cisco gave us some Raider history with Hugh. You know, that's something that I did not know, that Hugh came in and he's the guy that actually, upgraded a lot of the stuff in Alameda and was trying to make us a more competitive team, because we don't get that behind the scenes look because we're not there every day. Now, Cisco is everywhere when it comes to the Raiders things. He's been doing it for a while. I'll be like, he was there in Oakland, and you know what? It seems like the Raiders followed him to Las Vegas because he was there before they went, and then they followed him to Vegas. So, you know, it is a great retrospect of what Hugh brought to this team, and that's a name that I'm really amazed has not come up in talks. If you've looked at every single coach that has come up, Hugh Jackson's name has not come up, which is a really interesting fact. Now,
I think a lot of that may have to do with his last coaching position at Grambling. It wasn't successful, you know. Yeah, and that might have a lot to do with it, you know.
absolutely. But I mean, like, if you look at it, he's had success in the NFL. He's had success at a lot of other places. Grambling just might have not been the place for him. And let's be real, Grambling, when it comes to as a university, their recruiting power is not as big as other SEC schools or Division One schools. But that's just one part of the equation as well. Now, when we look at it, guys, we got a new GM coming in. The hottest name right now is the architect of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last championship team, John Spytek. Now he's being interviewed twice. I want to know what you guys think about bringing in not the Patriots Way 2.0, because that's why Brable wasn't brought back or wasn't brought here, because Mark wants nothing to do with the Patriots 2.0, but he wants something nice and fresh, I believe. So what's your thoughts on the guy from Tampa Bay? I'm going to start with Tony Bova.
I haven't heard too much on the GM side. I've really just kind of been looking at the coach's side, not going to lie. But I have heard the Tampa Bay championship GM type come into talks a little bit. So I really I'm out on this loop, just to be 100% honest. I just been more reeling from everything that's been happening. Like, it's just been a whirlwind type season. Uh Ups and downs and everything with both sides of, like, it just, I really haven't noticed, but yeah, I'm hoping it's a fit. And if the coach ends up being Carroll, there's a good transition into helping that person come adjusted and getting them on the same page. With his old GM type coaching ways, he can kind of get that person in that's and kind of be on that same page, either terminology ways, strategy wise, whatever they need, they'll be on the same boat.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Now, Cisco, thoughts on GM? I'll be like, are you in the same boat as Bova, or you have some thoughts on that?
I've been trying to do a little research on the Tampa Bay Cat. I don't even know his name. I've just seen it posted and tried to read up a little bit on him. So I got to do my homework on that and what else is out there. One name I threw out before, was a guy, a Raider. We see him on ESPN all the time. Louis Riddick. I think he would be a great GM. I think he's got a lot of insight on players, his analogy on players that he pulls out of his hat. I'm like, oh, I never thought about that guy, and I'll focus in on that guy and stuff. So I think Lewis might be a diamond in the rough. He, again, he was a former Raider. And I'm not being biased saying, hey, get him because he was a former Raider. But yeah, I really haven't focused on to be, just like Tony, to be quite honest. I really haven't focused on the GM side of things just yet.
No, I got you, brother. I got you. I mean, like the Raiders came out, they gave us a right and the left hook immediately, and we were stumbling, baby. I'll be
Yeah.
like, it was like bam, bam. So
Yeah.
now, man, I'll be like, I'll give you guys a little info on Spytech. I actually think that Spytech is just somebody that he and Brady have a great relationship. Again, they go way back. Then they have that time in Tampa Bay, and they were able to build a championship team. The one name that I will say I like more than his, and because he's a freaking Raider, and I am biased, and he started his career with the Raiders, is Ed Dobbs. This guy has waited his turn, man, and he has interviewed with the Raiders not just once, twice. And every opportunity that he's had to come and interview with the Raiders, he has taken. That to me signifies that, hey, he is interested in being the Raiders GM. Everybody and their mother is going to be interested. It's only one of 32 jobs, and it pays a shitload of money. But this guy, man, this is how he broke into the league. In 2003, he was a scout for the Raiders. I'd be like, what better story than to come back 20 years later, build a franchise, and win a championship where you start? That's why I like it, man. Ed Dobbs in the house, silver and black. You bring in somebody fresh. You get you a fresh young coach like BJ. Silver and black. You start your career both together. Or one guy like comes full circle and one guy starts. Hey, man, I believe that's a match made in heaven. But we will see. All right, guys. Now, let's get on to the next part, which, let's talk some TBH Spokane.
Yeah.
So, Bova, man, I want you to tell me the story of how you and the Cisco Kid got introduced and how TBH Spokane came to be and where you guys are at, and what can we expect from if we
Uh,
go visit your TBH location?
it's pretty crazy because we had other clubs in Spokane. Like I was kind of helping out with the
He's
Northwest
froze up like
Raiders.
a popsicle.
What's up?
I think
We good?
you're frozen up for a minute.
Am I good
Yeah,
now?
I think so.
you're good.
All
You're
right.
good.
Okay. Yeah. We had other clubs. We were with the Northwest Raiders in Spokane for a little bit. Um, big shout out, like all those guys over there. But I had a buddy of mine, Dougie Doug. Uh, we was he was with the Northwest Raiders at the time, and he was like, "Hey man, you need to get on with this black hole mess. Like, you really need to get on. Like." And he's like, "I'm gonna put you in contact with Cisco and Rob. They're gonna call you." And I swear, I felt like it was it was a very humbling experience because they had questions. They were like this, boom, boom. It was rapid fire. It was, this is how this goes. Are you good? With this, with this, with this. And I got the calls. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm all with it. I'm all about it. Went to Oakland for I think it was the Beast Mode's first preseason game against the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. Met Cisco at the tailgate, got put on, and it's nothing but. And I was, if I'm not mistaken, I was one of the last chapters to be on a call with Rob, to be in one of those questionings, because I remember someone telling me like, "Hey, I think you're one of the last ones to become a chap, like a certified chapter." I got the call, everything. I still got the number in my phone, still got the poster on my wall. I mean, it's stuff that changed my life. Like I mean, I say that a lot, in a lot of things with a lot of people because a lot of people have. They really have with this with the things. We got stories that we can tell that people telling me stories now about me that they've heard. Like so like it's so much a camaraderie in a family. It was like it was a no brainer for me. Like it's a no brainer. And Spokane has been nothing but acceptive with the movement that we're trying here. Um, it's been it's been a wonderful ride. Like uh, I tell a story sometimes about I was on a podcast and we're doing the podcast and there's a green room and violators in the green room. And so I don't know he's in the green room. And I'm talking about a story that he told me when I first met Violator. He comes on and he tells that story to people. I'm in Vegas and he's telling story about me to other people. I'm like, this is the guy. This is like the guy who everybody sees on TV years and years before Black Hole, before I was Black Hole. Everybody knew Violator. They know Rilla. They know Senior. They know Cisco. They knew Rob. Like uh, it was just something I had to get on board with and run with it. And I hope uh, I'm doing. I tell every Sunday, my poster on my wall. It's the Black Hole Rob GoFundMe poster that my beer vendor gave me, and I always tell him I said, here we go. Like it's a day to you think Raider football, you think Black Hole, and it's something that I wear on my chest proudly, and I hope I do everybody just as proudly as I am.
Absolutely, baby. Absolutely. Now, yo, where are you guys at in Spokane?
Okay, now, now, that's another story. That's another thing that really tested Spokane this year was right before the Black Friday game. I get a call from our venue that said, "Hey, we're not showing football no more unless it's on local channels." And I was all like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" And what it ended up being was there was an issue with how they were showing the game. I won't get into too much details because I don't want to get them in too much trouble. But they had to shut down showing the game. There was a venue a block down the road that has been my friend has been putting us on like, hey, just let's come watch one game over here. Let's just show him my buddy owns this. Let's give him a little bit of business. And this is it's called McCracken's Irish Pub and Grill. And owner's Todd McCracken. And this is what made me really want to jump on board with this dude. He said he wanted our business, but as a small business himself, he didn't want to take another small business, his livelihood. Like we were our venues money makers. Like we kept them afloat. Like Sundays were big over there, and he didn't want to take that from them. But as soon as he's like, "Oh, there's a problem," come on over, I got you guys. And they bought 80-inch TV, a 65-inch TV. Big shout out to Abel De La Rosa, my partner in crime. He's out here. He went out of his own pocket, went and bought these TVs, and they hung them on Thanksgiving so that we can have it for the Black Friday game. Issue with like some of the signal, so we didn't get the Black Friday game. Sorry for the people that showed up. But we were the next game. We were in Life Flint. Like we're running with it. During all Raider games, it's happy hours, so they give us 10% off our bill. Which some people are like 10%. They're doing something to get our bit. We're gonna keep them. I mean, we keep coming. They set us up with our own sections. We've got our own TVs, family friendly kind of. They have a section for the families, for the younger ones. It's just great. Like it feels like home. Like I tell people this all the time when I walk in. I feel happy. I feel like I walked into a Black Hole tailgate where I can walk in and we got people like, here's your drink. Hey, what can I get you? You hungry? Like it feels like you're walking in to a backyard barbecue, and it's a business, and that's what we were lacking in our last one. I'm not saying there was anything bad with the last one. It didn't feel like home. It felt more like a chain business. Like you're and you were just kind of providing for
You
them,
were
and they weren't providing back. And these guys want our business, and they're passionate about getting us there. Um, a lady walked in on the first game, and she goes, "Hold on a second. I thought this was a Seahawk bar." And I was like, "Not on Raider Sundays no more." And she goes, "Oh, I'm gonna go somewhere else." And she started to walk out, and I said, "No, you're more than welcome. We'll put it on this TV over here for you." And she goes, "I don't think I can match your guys' intensity." I'm like, "You're right." Like, but you guys will check it out when you guys come up. If you guys come up this summer, we're gonna try to do a meet and greet at our venue. Set it up like old school Oakland tailgate in the back parking lot. We're gonna have a good time with music and chilling. We'll get into details about that event in a little bit, but yeah, it's gonna be great. It's a great place. It's Spokane Valley, Washington. I should have got the address. I wasn't prepared again. Um, but
again.
McCracken's Irish Pub and Grill, Spokane Valley, Washington. If you know where we were, it's a block south of the building that we used to be in.
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
Well, it's got
Now,
the perfect name, man, because it looks like you guys got it cracking.
Oh, I'm telling you what, it's cracking at McCracken's. That's what his shirt says. But
yeah,
we're working on trying to help them establish their business while they help us establish our brand. He's actually in the works. We're talking to I don't know if he's talking to what vendors he wants to get. What's his whiskey on tap? So I'm gonna try to link up with some people. We need to get some. I know we're not distributing in Washington just yet, but if this one local distributor can get bottles, he can get it into the venue. There's a way that he can work some magic, and hopefully we'll have Woodson's whiskey on tap next year. Always carries the Modelo's, has everything on stock. He tells us, what liquor do you want? We'll have it in
Mm.
for you guys. What beer do you guys want? We'll bring it in for you guys. What kind of food do you want? Like, he's asking us what specials we want. So we're gonna come up with a Raider game day menu. We're gonna come up
Nice.
with a drink menu only for Raider games. They'll be named, something that they already have on their menu, so they won't have to do something different. I mean, it really ignited the fire in the club again because we were kind of stagnant for a while. Um, and I think everybody's passionate, especially with the Northwest Blackout coming this summer.
absolutely, absolutely. Now,
Awesome. Hats off to Bova and the team up in Spokane. Like I
Man,
said, sounds like they got it cracking.
it's a lot. I'm just president by name and by title. But I feel like everybody in the Black Hole Spokane is worthy of that title. Um, I can call anybody, and they would be willing to assist in any avenue of anything, of game day activities, summer activities, giving back to community charities, monthly meet and greets in the off season. We do. We're awake. We're awake now, and we're ready to kick this shit into gear.
oh, let's go. I
Nice.
can't wait to see it grow. I can't wait to see it grow, fam. Now,
Mm.
Cisco, you obviously, my question is gonna be, you see this high energy man. I mean, like you know Bova, baby. I mean, like he's going 100 miles, and I'd be like, I'm 6'1". Boba is a ton load shorter, but he will walk 2 miles in front of me because he's just burning through energy. Man, what did you see in this man that said, yo, we got to make this guy a chapter president?
Um, it was basically him being him. You could hear it in his voice, and when we met, you could see it on his face that he was a loyal guy. He was an upfront, transparent guy. Um, just the way he spoke, he was very thankful of the opportunity. And he just seemed like a real genuine guy. And the more our relationship built, I'd say I got that one right, because that's what he's been, 100 the whole time. He's just one of those special guys, and very proud to have him on our team and part of the family. And he's done a great job up there, and I just continue to man great success and all he does, despite our season. He's still holding it down and doing good, and I was really pleased to hear your story about your new venue and how that's coming together, man. Again, hats off to you and your chapter, your family
Man,
up
I'm
there, man.
grinding.
Your
I'm
Black
trying
Hole
to.
family that I hope to meet sooner than later. But once again, just to answer your question, just Tony being Tony, he's a great dude. So it was a pleasure meeting him in person, and I look forward to seeing him every time.
I do.
Absolutely.
I was telling my one of my chapter members. I said, I'm working at being
Like even when he flew into Vegas, when he flew
right.
into Vegas, I was like, I got you, bro. Left my house, went to go pick him up, and all the rest of you guys, and I mean,
I'm trying to be Grand Marshal of the Walk worthy. That's what I'm grinding to be. I'm gonna be carrying that flag one of these
What'd you
days.
say, Bova?
I
You're
said I'm
you're
gonna be
breaking up a
breaking
Grand
up.
little
Marshal.
bit.
Can you hear me now? Are we good
He
now?
says he's gonna be Grand Marshal. Yeah, I can hear you. Did he say you're gonna be Grand Marshal of the parade
The
now?
walk, the
Oh,
walk, the walk of victory, Grand Marshal. That's what I'm gonna be one day. That's my plan.
All right.
I'm
Sounds
working
good.
on it.
He's working on it. He's working on it. Oh my
You got to work on your parade wave, though. Yeah.
Elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist.
Yeah.
Oh man, shoot. Hey, you know what, man? Cisco, you hit the nail on the head, man. It was fabulous. Cisco, Tony has this type of energy, man, that it brings you in and it makes you happy. And if you know anything, man, this man gives you everything he's got, to the point that sometimes he's a little sad sometimes. You have to, find him in his private time where he's just gives so much of his energy and so much of himself to everything that he does that it's contagious. I mean, like you said, we showed up in Vegas. He called you. He had already set up stuff, and it was 100% go. I don't think we stopped doing stuff with Bova until he left. And he left at 5 o'clock in the morning and was in bed at like 11 o'clock that night before or something like that.
Oh,
So I mean, like he's 100% go, 100% energy, and bad. I can see why the TBH chapter in Spokane has so much energy and so much love for people. And you know what? It's a part of their leadership, and we are definitely blessed to have him leading one of the 43 chapters up there in the Northwest. But, yeah, Bova, killing it up there, brother.
Try it.
But, yo,
Try it.
now, guys, let's get to the last part of the show where we're going to have a little Q&A with the Cisco Kid. Brother, let us know how the 20% discount works with the website. Please clarify that right here, right now.
I'm hearing a lot of different stories, and hey, I take full responsibility. Most of I'm a storyteller. When I say something, it could be something short, but I'll stretch that thing out. And some people get irritated. Man, just get to the point. Cross that bridge, damn it. And others like, damn, you made me feel like I was there in that moment. So, maybe I wasn't too detailed in conveying this information to you guys. So we have two codes. Black hole chapters have two codes. One code is, for instance, TBH Spokane, or it may be spoke. I don't think it's all the words spelled out. That is the code that you give all new members that sign up, because a percentage of their chapter membership that they pay for goes back to the club that we keep in the bank of the black hole for that particular chapter. And you can accumulate the members as many as you want. And when you're ready to cash out, you let me and Mark know, hey, I believe I have on record so many members, and I'm going to have this function, and I want to use that portion of the members, my fund to this event. No problem. You match it up. Mark sends you your money. That's the one code. Second code is the code that every member gets after they sign up for a black hole membership. And that provides you with a 20% discount off anything on our website. If we happen to sell tickets, but most of our events are free, but if we happen to have an event that we charge admission for, black hole members get 20% off of that. So with that being said, as most of you know, as chapter presidents and VPs, whoever's listening on this podcast, or will watch it later when it's aired, on our board page that all our presidents and VPs are on, I put that code on there. And that is the code when you go to check out, you put that code into the website at the very end when you check out for whatever merchandise you buy, and you should receive your 20% discount on that merchandise, whatever that may be. Now, the key thing is, which I think a lot of people are getting mixed up on, is the chapter codes will start with TBH. This discount code for members for your 20% off starts with BLACK, black. And there's other stuff after that, but just for the sake of this video and this podcast, just to simple it out. However, the other key thing to that is you do have to log in. Don't just jump on the website and punch in that code, go straight to the shop. You have to log in with the email and username that you set up. When you log, just like your Amazon account, right? You got to log in, enter in your username and whatever password you set up for that. Same situation. You go in, hit the login button. It'll enter in your username, enter in your password, hit enter, boom. Now you're logged in. It'll say, welcome, Tony, welcome, Will, welcome, Cisco. And then shop away. And then at the very end, keep that discount code, a lot of information, text it to yourself. Keep a file of stuff so you have it handy. What is that? Oh, boom, copy and paste, bam, there you go. Enter it in there and you're locked in. So that's it right there. Clean, simple, black and white, audio, video, however you want to say it. That's the information for the two codes that we have for our chapters.
Question real quick.
So you log into the website, guys. You put in the 20% code that was sent to you with your membership. Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, what I was going to say is if they've been members in the past, but they buy them new membership like that, a membership that year, are they able to use that code that we would give to the new members because they're renewing their membership? Because a lot of our members are going to buy it every year, even though it's lifetime, because they want the current new stuff. So are they able to use that code for that to give us credit?
What, you're a lifetime member? You're a lifetime member. You don't need you're a lifetime member.
Okay.
You can use that code
checking.
for anything. You can use that code to buy the varsity jacket. You can use that code to buy hats. You can use that code to buy the Dickie shirt. Anything that's on our website for sale, you can use that code for.
Okay.
So please, as again, I know you two chapter presidents are on this podcast. However, when you rebroadcast it, all our presidents and vice presidents that are watching this, go to the Black Hole Board page on Facebook, and you'll see where I posted it. I made an update to the post that I did the other day. So earlier today, I edited it and I entered the step the 3 steps that you need to do to log in and get that 20% discount code. And I entered the discount code on there for you to use. But again, you have to log in with your username and your password.
Yep. So basically, Tony, what Cisco is saying, they don't have to re-sign up. They're already lifetime members. What you do is log in, and if they're a new member, then they put in your TBH Spoke code, and then that will be allocated in the TBH bank.
Right.
Now, everything else, if they go in to buy off the website, you sign into the website and you use that 20% discount code that you get in the email.
And remember, that one begins with black.
With black.
Yes.
And that is the code that you use to get 20% off anything inside the Black Hole store. Or if you get a ticket, which we usually don't charge for tickets, but if you got a ticket for an event. Now that we got the 20% discount code for the website out of the way and knowing what the bank is or what goes with the bank and everything like that, Bova, you said you had some questions for Cisco, so I'm going to let you go ahead and get your Q&A in with Cisco.
That was my question.
Oh, I think our man's froze again.
Guys, my phone sucks.
Bova, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep. All right, man. So,
there he goes.
My phone sucks. My reception's horrible. I'm working on that too. But no, I'm pretty much good on a lot of the questions. I don't really have too many questions because when I do have the questions, I speak it right off the get-go. I really don't have any stockpiled and waiting. So the one that I did have was the question about the code. So that got clarified pretty good. So we should be pretty good.
All right, guys. So what I'm going to do right now is let you guys know about all the TBH blackouts that will be happening this summer, I guess. May the 3rd, San Francisco. We are blacking out the East Bay, baby. We're going to have 7 chapters that are being represented on the flyer, but I believe up to 14 chapters will be represented at this event. Guys, we have over 200 people that have already told us that they will be there and have certain confirmations and hotel confirmations and all sorts of stuff. So be patient. All this information will be coming out. The director of operations for that will be Marlene. You will see the Cisco Kid out there. You will see probably me filming out there. You might see Tony Bova freaking sprinting up and down the sideline somewhere.
Probably.
Guys, we are working on a lot of things that it might happen for this event. We are talking to the old Coliseum about some things as well. So stay tuned. Lots of things happening. Now, the second event I want to talk to you guys about is June the 22nd, the Pacific Northwest Blackout. This is their 6th annual, or 5th?
20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Oh, 21st and 22nd. Okay. That weekend. It's going to be a great time. You'll be up in the Spokane Valley. Tony B is working on some big things up there. Guys, it's wine country. He has the state of Idaho up there right next to him. So, guys, I know that there's a lot of people that have a lot of different goals with Raider Nation, and some of them are to hit all 50 states. With the Raider Nation event, this is a chance for you to hit 2 states at once because he is on a border town. He also will have a badass barbecue going on at his location, a great meet and greet. It's wine country. Stay tuned as more information will be released later on. Did I hit everything on that, Tony?
You got it. I would like to send a big shout out to the Coeur d'Alene tribe. They're going to be donating a lot of meat for the event, as well as our location McCracken's for the meet and greet. We're working on a lot of things, like Will said. We're going to try to make it a weekend out of it. For people that fly in on Friday, we're going to have some events that kind of show you around town, show us the Pacific Inland Northwest. That Saturday will be the barbecue, so we'll be tied up mostly with that most of the day, maybe a little after party afterwards. There's a couple of local casinos. There's some breweries, like Will said, wine country. We got some wineries up there. Like, we got a plan on, there is a Lake Coeur d'Alene has a cruise boat. So I'm going to be posting links on where you can buy tickets to, we're going to say like this date, this time, because there's like certain boats that depart at certain times. Like, we'll get on this boat. This will be the one that you buy for. You'll buy directly from them. We're going to try to black out the boat. It's a 3-hour little cruise, or an hour and a half, something like that, out on the lake. Like $20, something like that. You go out there, and just like you said, so people can mark off, hey, I did something in Spokane and I did something in Idaho. Like, it's right across the border. I mean, we're gonna have all kinds of stuff. Hopefully, working on some special guests. I know a buddy of mine, Wayne, has family and friends up this way. He might be coming up this way. I see how I name dropped on that. You like that one, Will? You like that? See, but like,
He called him by his government name.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is what's crazy is, and that's what another thing that I'm so passionate about is when you see these people, you know them as the people that they are, not just what they portray. They're your brother. They're like, I don't like when they're out there, he's Violator. When I talk about him, he's Wayne. Like, sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, I'll drop, and he was always calls me Spokane, or he'll call me Tony. Like, depending on the situation we're in. So, but no, it's gonna be a great event. 3 days. We're gonna try to get some events for like people that want to fly right out afterwards or leave right afterwards. They can, and if they decide to stay that Sunday, we're gonna provide some options for things to do. Nothing required. Just, hey, if you're staying in town, there's this. You know, check stuff out. Like I said, there's 3 casinos within driving distance. If you're a gambler, could be great time. Great time.
All right, man. I can't wait, man. Look at this, bro. We're doing so many things now, and you know what? We are thankful that we are under great leadership that allows us to do this. I'll be like, yo, you know, this is all started with Cisco and Rob and everybody up top putting guys in charge that are able to network and do things together. And now the clubs, you know, as in, hey, we're the small guys, you know, everybody here, like individual small guys, are working together as one team, one family, one nation to come and bring you guys events that, you know, you can't really see because it's hard for the big guys like Cisco and Mark and everybody like that to make it to all 43 chapters and to dictate what's going on in those areas and to throw events like that. So I'm happy to hear that, you know, I see Spokane was actually, Tony, Seattle's last year barbecue has been the inspiration for these blackouts this season. And we've been very fortunate now to see that, hey, they're starting to grow. Guys, it's all about one team. It's all about one nation. It's all about the Raiders.
Raiders.